I know you hate hearing good news about the government because I am, you are, we are Australian. Whinging is our Mongolian throat singing. It's part of our national identity, except in Perth. Their throat singing is deep throating. I mean, I love you, but you are filthy, aren't you, Perth? Thanks for getting this government elected, by the way, because if you didn't, our Prime Minister wouldn't sound exactly like the space mechanic in Plasmo. It's time for yet another Chairman Albanese's glorious workers' paradise because it is glorious. Almost as glorious as the shill shirts available at friendlyjordies.com. Get one today to signify that you're part of the small minority of people that watches this channel for anything other than the endless bitching. Now, look at this move. Sick, hey? Michael Jackson didn't die, he just got yet another facelift. But also, this one from current industrial relations minister Tony Burke, host of New and Improved Spics and Specs, I think. He really should be the host. He definitely knows more about music than Adam Hills. But he just passed a law saying that unions in similar industries can bargain together. That should make you wage cucks very happy because now, not only do you have a union, but your union has a union. Everyone out there struggling to pay your bills with global inflation. Can you imagine if you didn't have a government that instead of immediately increasing your wages by $2,000 a year, said, I can't exactly remember what he said, but I do remember Scott Morrison saying something along the lines of, in an interview, there's only one person that can lift your wages, and that's your boss. Well, Scott, can you allow unions to bargain across industry so that they could lift the wages to a standard level? No, that's something you'll have to direct to the Industrial Relations Minister, which is one of the few portfolios that isn't mine, and I've said too much. Thank you, Memory Scott, which is all you should be. Why are you still sitting there? Now, in terms of environmental news, there's so many good things happening so quickly that I can't even do the list justice. It just makes me go, oh. Remember that at school when something awesome happened? Okay, kids, we're playing ultimate frisbee for PE. Oh, yes, sir. I'm bringing it back. You know when people yell hoodus to Spaniard? That's what I want to hear when I'm walking down the street. Yeah, Geordies, lad. Remember a few months back when I was talking about the ghost net thing? It's where old fishing tackle whisks around like a thistle ball in the Old West, killing thousands of turtles a year. Well, Tanya's announced a total of $15 million to clean it up. You can apply for some of that. You could go out there and clean them up in what should be called the Underwater Garbage Man Initiative. So much like Land Garbage Men, I expect maybe an NRL player that wasn't quite good enough to go pro to fly up to the Torres Straits, send it a Snapchat of them getting tangled in discarded fishing lines saying, I'm beached as, bro. Look, it's probably more a scientific solution than what I'm letting on rather than that scene from Edge of Tomorrow. The ghost nets have caught us now, eh? This is not choice. Another one that I'm sure will make Alex Jones happy, and God knows he needs some cheering up. Flipper sex making the frogs ungay. But do you hear any props from Sky News for Labor keeping boys and girls? No! So I'm picking up the slack. I am the fishing tackle cleaner of Australia's media ecosystem. First frog recovery centre in Australia. God knows that's important. We all know how important frogs are for those Japanese pet channels that play cute music in the background and words at the bottom reading, Masaka was very hungry. It's part of a bigger investment that was started by the Andrews government, investing way more in species recovery programs than any government in Victorian history. Classic dictator move. Him and Hitler, eh? Well over $500 million in species recovery, while Plibersek said, yeah, we're going to chuck an extra $200 million onto that. So if you're in New South Wales, look at that. Wouldn't you rather way less of your tax money spent on that than fucking roads that are designed to bottleneck you in traffic? That's how a Labor, state and federal government works in tandem. They are like corn and Skrillex together on a track. Clearly, they enhance what was already awesome separately. While poor old New South Wales, 10 years of state and federal Liberals, Lou Reed and Metallica. So bad you can't even joke about it. Yes, 1,000 endangered species, hostage. Oh, nice work, Braz. Don't call me that. I hate it when people call me that. Which is all part of Plibersek's wider initiative, which is, you ready for this? You've heard of net zero. You've heard of zero nets. Well, what about net zero extinctions? Yeah, that's what Labor's just pledged. Their new policy is working towards no more special extinctions in Australia. That, on top of their pledge with 30% protected land in Australia by 2030, you know, to do that, they're going to have to protect an area of land that is about as big as Tasmania and Victoria combined of prime species habitat. How good's that? Blinky Bill and his friends will have 2 states worth of land to roam around because of this government. They've also signed up to Biden's pledge of reducing methane emissions by 30%. And now, this is a very friendly Jordies angle. But that's some American imperialism I think we can all live with. You know Nationals leader David Littleproud, the slow kid in your class all grown up? He's going for the whole line they try every time Labor announces a new emissions reduction policy. Oh, they're gonna kill the Sunday roast. They're gonna kill the weekend. Now Littleproud's going with reducing methane is gonna kill the weekend barbecue. I'm a big shot now. Littleproud, I think I speak for the entire nation when I say this. Can you f*** off? Like, not even the Nationals, just you. You're nowhere near chat enough to even represent a party that pretends to represent the bush. Like, how much do you feel like grabbing his glasses and throwing them up on the roof for a laugh? I can't figure out what's more embarrassing, that, or while the Labor Party's doing all this mad practical shit on the environment, the Greens are still taking all of the credit by not even metaphorically cosplaying AOC. Straight up doing it. Like, you knew these people existed, but in Australia, that is a new level of sad. You're supposedly serious politicians here looking at her at the Met Gala and thinking, nah, not cringy enough. Let's do that here because that's all we really are as a party, a sad export of vague American internet ideology. I hate how people think they're a serious outfit when how could they make it any clearer that they're not when they're not wearing serious outfits? That sums them up perfectly, doesn't it? Just trying to grab the attention of inner city toffs who think they're more informed than they are. This is why the voting base of the Labor Party are public servants, while the voting base of the Greens are people who work for the f***ing Melbourne Comedy Festival. They can't think any more deeply than a feeling. They have no idea or interest in policy other than just saying, oh, they've got better policies. They have no idea or interest in how policy is actually implemented, like the hard, detailed, serious reform and what it looks like. They just like the Greens for the same reason they like Doc Martens. Branding. Meanwhile, you have poor old ethnic Nonna Plibisek here, slaving away just like her ancestors did, except instead of making cristallas, she's accepting all 23 recommendations set out by the Murray-Darling Ministerial Council. And yet they get nothing! Nothing, darling! Murray-Darling? Yeah, classic bureaucrats, eh? Always feathering their own nests. Of course the Murray-Darling Ministerial Council would want the Murray-Darling properly regulated so that it can continue to exist off of your tax paychecks. That's fat cats for you! Always thinking about themselves instead of the several massive cotton farms mostly owned by foreign investment. Really should be the catchphrase of the opposition. What about the big guy? And how good's this? Well, much like your name followed by weathering with you, it is the same story over and over. But who cares? It's just a good story. You know how the Optus breach made you think, what the f***? I'm gonna go down to my local phone zone, ask for another provider, get freaked out about how pushy the salesman is and... I'll do it after I get to the bottom of the mystery. Is Sniper Wolf using the same React shot over and over, or is she just really good at recreating the same pose? He died 80 years later, still an Optus customer. I'm telling you, it goes to my theory that a Labor government is having a current affair as a government, and I think I speak for pensioners everywhere when I say, yeah, get him, Trace! They're cleaning that Optus shit up with up to $50 million fines for serious data breaches. Well, what's the other big scam in this country? That's right, payday loans. They're cleaning those up as well. You know those scary midnight ads? Need up to $2,000 faster than you could jam a mil of heroin in your veins? Well, we all know what you need the money for. Come on down to any road that has an equal spread of kebab shops and adult shops, and we'll speed up the pattern of your entire life, which is quick relief for long-term pain. Don't break the habit, break your legs! The Liberals thought about reforming that for a bit and then decided, small-time loan sharks remind me of the sharks. Like, come on. The Liberals couldn't even regulate that industry? That can't count as the big end of town. I have never seen a cash fast logo at the top of a skyscraper. They're really not in government even to serve big business, are they? They just like human misery. Labor's regulating that. They're also enhancing the Queensland Labor government's good initiatives, and this is the thing that is going to make us a global leader in clean energy. Queensland Labor's hydrogen programs, one of which is nearly $14 million into an experiment to make an ammonia plant carbon neutral. That is massive. Ammonia is responsible for nearly 2% of the Earth's emissions. And if you can make that carbon neutral, you're not only going to attract all sorts of investment from overseas countries like Japan and the EU looking for carbon credits, but this is what I've been talking about before the election, of how the Murdoch press is always using that talking point of, oh yeah, we're only responsible for 1% of the Earth's emissions. Yes, but if you have someone in like Bowen steering the ship for the next decade, making investments like this, the knock-on effect of that will be reducing the percentage of emissions globally by many, many more percentage points. So, like this video if you like what Labor's doing, because Christ, how good is it having a government for once that is made up of intelligent people that actually want to help? Not as nice as this sweet, Friendly Jordies Mr. Sparkle shirt that comes dangerously close to infringing on copyright, so get it before it becomes a collector's item, just like the Bruz stuff. Like and subscribe.
Please share and comment below. Comment.